Earlier in the year, I covered the maiden event for the Bare Knuckle Fight Championship here in Pattaya and met with Nick Chapman, who's the event coordinator. And it was a resounding success. And also one of the first events given the green light here in Pattaya following the outbreak of COVID. They've now got round two, second event, back at the Royal Cliff, and I'm back to meet Nick Chapman. Now, I'm keen to find out his views based on some of the comments I got from some of the people on social media that called bare knuckle fighting just one step too far, too barbaric. Yet in Thailand, Muay Thai is exactly that, isn't it? Isn't it a case of, if you like combat sport, it's pot calling kettle black? I must admit, I went to the event a little bit apprehensive about how much damage I would see, and I must admit, it was organised really well, and it wasn't in any way as bad as I thought, but highly entertaining. And that's why I'm back to meet Nick. I want to go to the next event. Let's go. Okay, so I'm at the Royal Cliff Beach Hotel. It's Songkran, so there's a lot of cars in and out. So I've got to see where Nick is. He said he'd be outside. Now, as hard as I work out and try and get bigger, I'm nowhere near this guy. So he should literally jump out, and I think I can see him right ahead now. There he is. He's a fighter himself, actually. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Dan.
Good to see you, mate.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
It never stops for me, mate. I'm just arranging to go to a fight event on Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
It never stops.
Nick, round two, Bare Knuckle Fight Championship. Got to start with the question that most people ask. Is it a step too far and too brutal as a combat sport?
Well, in my opinion, no, not at all. Yeah, we do get this question a lot. People say it's brutal, and it makes me laugh because we're sitting here in Thailand where, you know, bare knuckle fighting began. We've got people elbowing each other, kneeing each other in the head, kicking each other with bare feet in the head. And then these same people that follow these sports say to me, oh, bare knuckle fighting, it sounds a bit brutal. Really? Okay, look, we do get a lot of cuts, we get a lot of blood. That's part of the sport. In fact, that's part of the attraction, to be fair. But we're actually safer for the brain because the brain is supposed to be switched off when you get hit. It's blunt force trauma with a glove on. It's repeated trauma to the brain. It causes brain damage. When you get hit with a bare knuckle, you go to sleep. You generally don't have the same problem. And that's actually proven through science to be safer than boxing.
Yeah. You know, there's other things as well in how you can look at this as well. Is it's driven by the market, this insatiable lust to watch people fight that's gone on from generations.
Right.
So does that therefore just make it acceptable? If people want it and it's controlled conditions, then the others that don't want it turn away.
Exactly my opinion on the matter. Look, I love to fight, okay? It's in me as a kid. It wasn't something I chose, it was in me. All of my fighters are passionate about what they do. They love what they do. If you don't give them the opportunity to do this, you're going to have a different animal on your hands, okay? That much I can assure you. And, you know, I'm not really a fan of horse riding per se. I don't want to watch it. I don't criticise it, I just don't watch it. And if someone doesn't like bare knuckle fighting, don't watch it. Although you're missing out because it's really exciting. And look, our primal instinct as when we were cavemen, you know, we was out there fighting to survive, fighting to live. We still have that in us. We haven't evolved much since we were cavemen. We're still primal animals. And there's something about the human species, for as long as we've existed, we just like to fight.
Yeah, and there is something about it as a spectator sport, right? Because I can go to other sports and I don't get the same adrenaline rush. That kind of sums it up, does it?
There you go. Okay, this is exactly the feedback we're getting from all of our audiences. You know, we are the fastest growing combat sport in the world today for a reason. It's because it's exciting. It's because it's brutal. Yeah, you see a lot of blood. You know, you see broken noses. It's brutal. But that's the draw. That's the attraction. It's like MMA when it first started. The term cage fighting give it this aura that people wanted to engage with. The fact that we call it bare knuckle fighting, I think, is now doing the same thing for us that cage fighting did for MMA back in the day.
Yeah, UFC, we were talking about that.
Right.
At first, I couldn't stand to watch it. Now I just see through it and it's all okay.
Right.
All right, I'll tell you what. If the jury is out, maybe you need to come and watch it and experience it yourself. When's the next event? Let's tell everyone.
You know, that's a great... I said this to everyone. Listen, okay, everyone's got a comment, everyone's got a criticism about something they know nothing about. That's a very foolish stance to take. come and watch it. May 7th, the Peach at the Royal Cliff Hotel. We start at 6 p.m. Come and see it for yourself. You know what? I'll even go as far to say if you've never been to an event and you come and watch this event and you do not like it, I will give you a full refund and a personal apology for wasting your time. I'm that confident you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And where can I get the tickets?
Good question. So there's links on our Facebook page. Go to BKFC Thailand on Facebook. There's a link, you can buy tickets there. We've got adverts all over social media as well. We can share a link, can we?
Yeah, I'll put the link on this video, yeah.
It's very easy to buy. You just click on the link, select your seat and buy it. But as I say, that's a promise. I will refund everybody 100% of their money and a personal apology if I'm wrong, they don't enjoy the evening.
Okay, cool. I still want to ask a couple more questions.
Please do.
How many fights on the evening?
Great question. So we've got 11 fights. Now, actually the first event was a huge success. It was so much more than I expected it to be. We planned it. It was a very well run operation. So it was a world-class production. All the medics on site, we did all the proper checks. We had 11 fights, but because it was new, we were kind of short on fighters. We were a little bit restricted as who we could put on the card. So this time, we've got heavyweights, we've got more female fights, we've got 2 title fights, so we now got our first BKFC Thailand title fights, 2 of them, the main event and co-main event. We've listened to all the feedback we had from the first event, which was all good, but we've made improvements in every area. The fight card is off the charts, so 11 fights is the answer to your question.
Okay, Nick, final comments, sign me out.
Right, listen, my opinion on bare knuckle fighting, you either love it or you haven't been to an event. Get your ass down, May 7th, Royal Cliff Hotel in Pattaya.